Okay, episode 22, the final episode of season 2 of Big Wolf, season 1. Okay, episode 22, the final episode of season 1 of Big Wolf on Campus. Game over. Yes, so Tommy is playing a video game called Dirk Strike'em. Sound familiar? Duke Nukem. It's weird, they call him Dirk Strike'em, and then in the episode, Merton mentions Sonic the Hedgehog, so... Anyway, this guy fell over. So he's playing this game, and he gets to level 10, and then the game malfunctions, or so we think. But it turns out level 10 is that Dirk Strike'em is coming after him. Questions? I have a question. Is Tommy the first person to ever get to level 10 before? If not, have people died before? I have to know this because this is very confusing to Scotty. I just don't. It's confusing. It's very confusing. I'll tell you this. I just assume Tommy is the only one that got to level 10 before. Also, timeline-wise, I'm not exactly sure where this fits. In the previous episode, Don't Fear the Reaper, there was this little redhead girl that was with Merton at the auditions. Here he meets a similar-looking redhead girl named Margaret, who has a crush on him. Now, I looked at it, I'm not sure if it's the same person. But it seems like it's... I don't think we see her again after this. Or maybe we do. And also, Tommy and Stacy don't seem like they're going steady. There's no mention now that we're going steady. Maybe the Don't Fear the Reaper was supposed to be the last episode of the season and this was put instead. I don't know. Continuity's all over the place. Episodes are in wrong order all the time in this season. So hopefully it gets better in the next seasons. Who knows? Doesn't help that the episode order that was in the playlist was also out of order sometimes. But I was kind of going by Wikipedia. So, yes. Merton's side plot in this, while Tommy's getting chased by Dirk Strike'em, is that he defends this freshman girl from his sister, and so she thinks that he's like her boyfriend, and she joins the Gothic Fantasy Guild, and he's holding meetings, and there's only two other people, her and one other guy there. But that's the running joke, is that no one's really in this club. They continue to have it. So we actually get to see football in this, football practice. We see little things at the beginning of episodes and stuff. This is actually the first time we ever see actual football being played a little bit. When it first starts, the coach is talking to the team, and you hear this. I'm like, what is that? Turns out it's Tim and Travis knocking their heads into the goalpost. Don't know what that does, but also they're on the football team. When has that ever been established they're on a football team? Guess now, I guess, but I don't think we see them on a football team after this, so who knows? Anyway, so while Tommy is going to get a Coca-Cola, yes, they have a Coca-Cola machine. Someone paid for product placement. They even say the word Coke. Tim and Travis are beating up the machine to get the pop. And also, we found out from Merton that they put a freshman's head through it every day. How has nobody stopped this? It's costly for the school. How is there still a machine there? Anyway, Dirk Strike'em shows up and tries to fight Tommy. He blows a hole in it. He drops his Coke and runs off to tell Merton. But he zaps him, so he falls down. And Tommy runs back to tell Merton. By the time he gets back there, he's gone. We see that he's watching him. And he shows up in the kitchen. He and Tina are going to watch some TV. Of course, Merton, for some reason, doesn't believe him I guess we'll come back to it later, but he doesn't believe him for some reason. We'll get to it. So, making sandwiches, Dirk Strikeham shows up with a blade and, like, cuts half of the sandwich. And so, like, Dean's like, oh, got my crusts off. I thought Mom was the one that cuts the crust off for me. He's like, of course, she gets all four sides. But he's able to escape. I guess he died once at the factory. Oh, that was playing the game. Yeah, he gets 3 lives. He died playing the game at the factory, I guess. And then, I don't know if we saw that or if they just say it so he has more, on the line. On the line. He goes to Martin and he tells him, hey, he's after me. Martin still doesn't believe him. Do you have any proof? Blasts him through the window, and that's how he loses his second life. And he's like, I'm still alive, Martin. He's like, oh, you were the ray of sunshine, whatever. Also, I should mention, he and Stacy have made plans to watch a meteor shower that's happening in the park. There. That never really plays into the plot. It just kind of comes up at the end. Yeah, so they face off with Dirk Strikeham at the factory. One final show off. Merton, like with the Pleasantville Strangler, tries to kind of parlay it off. He's like, I believe the Italians call it a vendetta. But no, he gets blasted back, and then all of a sudden, Tommy has an idea. He sees the machine. He grabs Merton, and he goes, come on, take your best shot, but don't miss. I never miss, dirtbag. And then he pushes Merton out of the way. Guy fires a shot. He high jumps in the air, and he shoots the machine, destroying himself, I guess. And then Tommy's like, "The Italians call it a vendetta, huh? Traitor." What? I was just hey, the stars look nice out tonight. What? Stacy. And so he has to run to Stacy, and so he smartly grabs a blanket and says, oh, I had to get, she's like 5 minutes late. He goes, I know, but I had to get this blanket so he wouldn't be cold. And smart thinking, Tommy. And so we get the narration at the end that he's no longer addicted to video games. In fact, he's playing a Game Boy, not a Game Boy, a Game Boy. Erase what I said. A Game Boy. You never heard of that. A Game Boy. But he talks to Stacy and then Merton and there's another part of this I forgot to mention. With Margaret, she, in front of Becky, calls Merton her boyfriend. He's like, I'm not your boyfriend. I don't like you. And it makes you think that he hates her. Makes you think that he hates her, but he doesn't. But, she shows up to give him back his CDs, which she somehow had by sneaking into his locker. But he explains to her, I don't hate you. I just don't like you like that. We can be friends. He's like, I was a freshman. You're already better than me as a freshman because at least you have a friend. She's like, who? He's like, you're like, hee-hoo. I like that. Yeah. And then they move on to the climax. But, yeah, so they're just friends when she tries to hold his hand, sort of thing. This is the end of season 1. Okay? The end of season 1, I believe. No more Hugo. No more Stacy. And the production value goes up a little bit, as does the wardrobe. Merton's hair doesn't look as... Yeah, but we'll get to that. I don't think I'll do any more today, so we'll start season 2 tomorrow. Okay? So, for now, that's going to be it. See you.